all sports enthusiasts. We are back with a Sports Link with the veteran St. Havis Shillingford.
We need to have everybody interacting in respect of looking at sports, analyzing things, seeing about the standards that we hope to achieve, why we achieved them, why we hadn't achieved them, what is preventing us from achieving them, what we've got to do, and of course, we're expecting people to call in and supply their views, etc., etc.
Right here on Kyrie FM every Sunday from 12 noon.
Sports Link will become a familiar household name, and that would be in Dominica and overseas.
Looking at sports from a local, regional, and international perspective. Right here on Kyrie FM.
And that's where we say a wonderful welcome to you to Sports Link, Radio Kyrie FM. And this is the program, of course, which attempts to bring you the best that we can in respect of sports on the domestic scene, sports on the regional scene, or in the international scene. Of course, on Wednesday last, the funeral took place of the late Caleb Lora. It was an official funeral attended by His Excellency the President and also by the Prime Minister of Dominica. That took place at St. Joseph. It was, in effect, a very well conducted ceremony, and it took place with very good attendance. The church was filled to capacity, as would be expected, and it's one of the larger churches, church buildings, in among the villages. So it was very good to see that the late Caleb Lora had what one might call a very fitting send-off. I attended the funeral and I carried commentaries on the occasion on behalf of Radio Kyrie FM. Now, Caleb Lora was born in 1944, which incidentally is the same year in which the late Grayson Shillingford was born. Also, it's the same year in which Irving Shillingford was born as well. So Caleb Lora departed the scene at the age of 65 years. And of course, I had an article in respect of Caleb Lora coming out in the Chronicle of the 7th May, and then also I had another which came out on the 14th of May in respect of the Caleb Lora legacy. Now, Caleb Lora, for those of you listening to this program who may not know exactly who he was, Caleb Lora was probably I would think, or it seems to be well acknowledged, that he was the greatest off-spin bowler that Dominica ever had. Dominica was privileged to have had. Now, he started to make a mark on the local scene as a student of the St. Mary's Academy. He was born at St. Joseph, lived at St. Joseph, and attended the St. Mary's Academy. And at just about the age of 16 or so, 16 going on 17, he started making a mark on the local scene. My attention was drawn to this by the late Eddie Robinson, who was a Dominica opening batsman, and who also was the secretary of the Dominica Amateur Sports Association, which was the governing body which attended to matters dealing with cricket, football, basketball, netball, track and field, and so on. It was sort of an umbrella body. That was before the organization was disbanded and all the various sports developed their own specific sports associations. So Eddie Robinson was a very keen cricketer, opened the batting for Dominica, a very door-side type of opening batsman, took his batting very seriously. And at the same time, he had a very great interest in the development of young cricketers in the region. So Eddie Robinson told me, look, there is a young, at the time told me there's a young spin bowler from the St. Mary's Academy, and I would like you to take a good look at him, because I think, that is quoting Eddie Robinson, he says, because I think he could be a very important bowler for Dominica. So I did take a look at Caleb Laura when he was playing, I think, from the St. Mary's Academy. And in those days, the St. Mary's Academy, just as was the case with the Dominica Grammar School, those two schools not only played school against school, but they also played in the Senior National League. So Dominica Grammar School and St. Mary's Academy, those were the two secondary schools for boys at the time, only secondary school for boys in Dominica. And so both of them would play cricket matches in what was called the second division of the Cricket League, which was played on Thursday afternoons at Botanic Gardens and also Windsor Park. So you had second division matches being played. And also, the schools took part in the first division, which was the top division in domestic cricket. So you would have St. Mary's Academy and Dominica Grammar School coming up against teams like Notre Dame, Wolves, and so on, the top teams, which included the top players in Dominica. And I think it was a very good idea in that the school had an opportunity to develop its young cricketers, playing against the best that the island could furnish. Now, the matches played on Thursday afternoon, the second division, they played from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 6 or thereabout. And they were not limited overs matches. But basically, they were one innings per side. So a side winning on first innings would actually have won the match. But if time permitted, the teams would continue playing on to see whether you could fit in another innings, or a side would declare its innings closed, and whatever happened, whatever transpired, would be given due process. So you had those second division matches. And that was a very, very good thing that occurred at the time, in that a number of the first division teams, which were the top teams, would have a look at young talent emerging. And that was how talent came on display from various areas playing second division matches. And the second division matches provided a very good opportunity for youngsters to make a bid to be invited, if necessary, or if they showed the potential, to island trial matches. So that was, in fact, a good thing. Now, one of the things that occurred was that those players would have an opportunity to play in the second division, and also in the first division. The school players were allowed to play in both first and second division. Of course, it was not exactly that way for players from the regular teams, other outside of the schools.